Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Radnarok. Radnarok, the podcast so rad, it's going to wreck your world. In a good way, though. I don't know. Is there a good way for that? Maybe I should stop saying that. But Ragnarok was just that. I don't know. It's, hey, whatever. For another time, I suppose. Because today, we're diving into another retrospective podcast where we are going to learn together all the things we didn't know we wanted to know about Walt Disney's Alice in Wonderland. Now, don't let me tell you how to live your life, but for those of you who don't know, this is a companion podcast to the watch-along podcast that I did for Alice in Wonderland. So, conventionally, you would listen to and do the watch-along, and then we would come here and learn about it together. I mean, that's how it's been going. But hey, do it however you want to do it. Listen to the retrospective first and then go watch the movie with the watch along. Maybe that works better. I don't know. You'll definitely have a much better understanding of the film at the very least. I've never tried it that way. Maybe I'll try it that way one time where we'll do the retrospective first and then watch the movie together. Maybe it'll hit differently. I don't know. Now I'm starting to revisit the whole way I'm doing things. Maybe I will mix it up. Turn it all topsy-turvy, Kind of Alice in Wonderland-y. Topsy-turvy. Hey, in case you were wondering. Oh boy. This is going to be an episode. All right. So in case you're wondering, Alice in Wonderland is a 1951 American animated musical fantasy comedy film produced by Walt Disney Productions and based on the Alice books by Lewis Carroll. Fascinating. It's the 13th. Lucky 13. And what a movie for Lucky 13. It's the 13th release of Disney's animated features. The film premiered in London on July 26th, 1951. In New York City on July 28th, 1951. So look at you. Look at the Brits. They got this one first. I got some friends out in the UK. You know who you are. And I just want to say congratulations on receiving Alice in Wonderland prior to us here, but none of us were alive then. We're the same age. We weren't alive in 1951, so I'm not going to congratulate you guys for anything, except for being great blokes. Is that right? Blokes. I wonder why England got it first. It is very Britishy, and Lewis Carroll was English himself, so I'm wondering if it was like ode to Lewis to do it in his country of origin. I don't know. I'm just making things up. See, that's the problem with the retrospective sometimes. I just start going off on my own conspiracy theories, which are kind of fun too, right? I think so. Anyhow, the film features the voices of Catherine Beaumont, Catherine Beaumont, no. Again, here's another little disclaimer. If this is your first time listening to a Radnarok, super dyslexic. So, me reading, stuff from the internet out loud isn't probably the best idea but it could be entertaining. Maybe that's why people listen. They just laugh about how I can't read. It is pretty funny. Okay, so the movie's featuring the voices of Catherine Beaumont, Beaumont, Beaumont. I'll give you the spellings of the name so you can figure it out yourself, because you're smart people. Catherine was Alice. Fun fact about Catherine, I don't know if I should drop this little ditty here, but why not? And I'll just say it again next time, too. Catherine not only was Alice in Alice in Wonderland, but she was also Wendy in Peter Pan. I never knew that. But after I found that out, I thought about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Alice and Wendy do sound exactly the same, and that's why, because they're voiced by the same actress. Let's see. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I clear my voice a lot too. And then for those of you who do listen to this regularly, I'm just repeating things I've said in past episodes. So you always got to be welcoming, though. You always got to welcome in the people who are new. You don't want to alienate anybody. You know? Sterling Holloway was the Cheshire Cat. Verna Felton is the Queen of Hearts. And does that name, Verna Felton, sound familiar to you? Well, it should, because she did a lot of Disney voices. Another one being, if I'm not mistaken, she was in... Oh, okay, here we go. So let's see. Where are you at, Verna Felton was not only the Queen of Hearts, she was Mrs. Jumbo in Dumbo, the fairy godmother in Cinderella. She is Aunt Sarah in Lady and the Tramp. She's also Flora and Queen Leah in Disney's Sleeping Beauty. Oh, that was a weird, like, internally kind of weird burp. She was also a voice actor for the Flintstones. And then she was Winifred, the elephant in the Jungle Book. Come on. So that's, let's see, Dumbo, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, and Jungle Book. Look at that. Verna. I want to say Vernon, and I don't know why. Verna Felton. Shout out. Disney legend. I'm just kind of rambling so I can find my place where I was reading again. Okay, as the Queen of Hearts. And then Ed Wynn, the glorious, hilarious Ed Wynn was the Mad Hatter. Those are just some of the castings. Let's look at the rest of the cast, because usually I think I do that first and then I go back. But you know what? It's Alice in Wonderland. Everything's crazy. So we're doing this episode kind of crazy. All right, let's see. Where do we go? Sterling Hall. Okay. We got Richard Hayden is the caterpillar. Jerry Colonna is the March Hare. Colonna, Colonna. Is that how, did I say that right? J. Pat O'Malley is the walrus, which, come on, look at the walrus, right? Of course that walrus is named J. Pat O'Malley. I mean, the walrus himself isn't named James Pat O'Malley or J. Pat O'Malley, but I mean, come on. Wait, that walrus wasn't really very Irishy, was he? Bill Thompson is the White Rabbit. Heather Angel is Alice's sister. So that very, very distinguished voice right out the gate, reading from that book, is Heather Angel. I want to see if Heather Angel did any sort of like audiobooks, because I like her voice. I could fall asleep easily, much like Alice did, to hearing her sister's voice. Joseph, Kierans, right? I don't know. Kearns. You tell me how that is pronounced. He's the doorknob. Oh. That's my doorknob impression. Larry Gray is Bill, the lizard. Bill. Poor Bill. Queenie Leonard is the bird in the tree. Serpent! Serpent! That's what that was her line. Thanks, Queenie. I wonder if Queenie was sad that she didn't get to play the queen. Queenie as the queen. You know what I mean? But I don't know. She really nailed that bird. Serpent! Serpent! I'm going to start doing that in public. Dink Trout is the king of hearts. Good old Dink. Dinky Dink. Doris Lloyd is the rose. James McDonald Dormouse, we talked about that. The Mellow Men Quartet as the card painters, the Painting the Roses Red guys, was the Mellow Men Quartet. And I am going to look that up on Spotify because I don't know if you know this. I like barbershop music. Not to say that they are barbershop, but I mean, that was an a cappella song. No, it wasn't. There was music behind it. The score was behind it. I don't know. But come on, quartet. Usually quartets infer barbershop, or am I just, is that just like word association? Maybe it doesn't mean that at all. Maybe I'm just making that up. Because I see the word quartet, I naturally think it must be barbershop related. And then Don Barclay, Barclay, he's the other cards. The other ones. So you got the singing cards, the card painters, and then the other ones. Don's the other ones. And then Mel Blanc as Dinah. What? You know, Mel Blanc is a name that pops up quite a bit, a lot in our classic cartoon commentaries. We'll see that name quite a bit. And I feel like, and in other Disney animated features, I always feel like Mel Blanc is associated with doing like sounds, unless, you know, not so much voices. Because Dinah didn't have any spoken dialogue in this movie. I think maybe Dinah meowed. Is it meowed or mewed? Purred maybe. So all that was Mel. That's our cast. Directed by Clyde Geronami, Wilfred Jackson, and Hamilton Luske. So voila. But you knew that. You knew that from last time. The watch along, that is. All right, let's see. Edwin, Mad Hatter. Cool. Walt Disney first tried to adapt Alice into a feature-length animated film in the 1930s and revived the idea in the 40s. The film was originally intended to be a live-action / animated film. However, Disney decided to make it fully animated in 1946. Now, I want to say I'd really like to see a live-action animated hybrid in a way like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know what I mean? But the fully animated version is such a classic and so iconic now that, you know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. You know what? No, I'm going to say it. I'd like to see that. Doesn't mean I would like it better, but I'm still curious enough to where I would watch it. How about you? Tell me. The film was considered a disappointment on its initial release, therefore was shown on television as one of the first episodes of Disneyland. That I didn't know. That is fascinating. The Walt Disney Company has produced an anthology television series under several other titles since 1954. That's what it says when you hover over Disneyland. Episodes of Disneyland. Now, interesting. I don't know what that is. I know that there was a show that Disney did. I like The Wonderful World of Color. There was also a show that was like in preparation to Disneyland, the theme park, but was the show called Disneyland? I guess maybe, because yeah, it's one of the first episodes of Disneyland. So, you know, I guess Disneyland was just kind of like a compilate. Like he it was Disney. He could just do whatever. Kind of like how I want to be. Just do whatever. Do whatever. It'll make sense eventually. It was considered a disappointment. Well, that's what you get for releasing it in England first. No, I'm just joking. I love you guys in the UK. It's 1974 re-release in theaters provided to, or hold on, that's the wrong word right there. Its 1974 re-released in theaters proved to be much more successful, leading to subsequent re-releases, merchandising, and home video releases. Although the film received generally negative critical reviews on its initial release, it has been more positively reviewed over the years. You just repeated the same thing in that last sentence as what you said in the sentence before. Why? So that's kind of weird. I wonder why it wasn't well received. Leading up to this point, with everything we have seen thus far, I feel like Alice in Wonderland ranks like on par with everything else. You know what? I like Alice in Wonderland more than I like Dumbo. But I can't remember if Dumbo was well received. Go back to that retrospective and then come back here and tell me, was Dumbo well received? I can't remember. Let's see. Okay. A live action adaptation of Carol's works and a live action reimagining of the story. What? Alice in Wonderland, directed by Tim Burton. Nobody cares. Was released in 2010. Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to talk about that because that's not this movie. I don't care. I don't want to pretend like they're related because they're not. They're not the same thing. I'm sorry if you're a fan of the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm sorry you're a fan of it. It's harsh. I just didn't like it very much. I thought it was... you know what I mean? All right, let's see. We don't need to talk about the plot because we have watched the movie already. Or maybe you haven't. But I'm not going to read the plot because I'm not going to spoil it for you either. I'm going to start skipping the plots, I guess, in retrospectives. Because why do you need that? Why do we need a refresher? Do we need a refresher for, like, what if you're somebody who wants to listen to this retrospective but not watch the movie? That is, well within your right. Okay, I'm not going to go through that. Bleh. Production. This is the kind of stuff I'm interested in. You know what I mean? Not a rehashing, not a 30-minute rehashing of what Alice in Wonderland, like the story, what happened. Go watch it. Yeah, if I give you the plot here, it's that defeats my watch-along purpose, because then you don't need to go watch it. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Okay. Walt Disney was familiar with Lewis Carroll's Alice books, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland from 1865 and Through the Looking Glass in 1871, and had read them as a schoolboy. Walt Disney as a schoolboy. Can you imagine what that must have been like? What an imaginative kid. Do you think he paid attention in class? Really smart kid, but man, there's just so much. He developed so much wonder, and people who develop wonder usually have a harder time focusing on the boring. You know what I mean? Anyhow, in 1923, he was a 21-year-old aspiring filmmaker who worked at the Laugh-O-Gram Studios in Kansas City, making the unsuccessful short cartoon series by the name of Newman Laugh-O-Grams. Interesting. I wonder if I can go find some Newman Laugh-O-Grams and do some classic cartoon commentaries at them. Were they cartoons making unsuccessful? Yeah, cartoons. I'm going to go find the Laugh-O-Grams. The last of Newman's Laugh-O-Grams was called Alice's Wonderland, which was loosely inspired by the Alice books. The short featured a live-action girl, Virginia Davis, in case you were wondering, interacting with an animated world. Faced with business problems, however, the Laugh-O-Gram Studios went bankrupt in July 1923. And the film was never released to the general public. Imagine that. Oh, no. I don't know why I said that. That is sad. That is a bummer. Because I'm sure, actually, I'm pretty sure I can find that specifically. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that ASAP as a classic cartoon commentary. Okay, anyway. However, Disney left for Hollywood and used the film to show to potential distributors. Oh, that's cool. Margaret J. Winkler of Winkler Pictures. Winkler Pictures. I almost said Productions twice, and it clearly says Pictures. Winkler Pictures agreed to distribute the Alice comedies. And Disney partnered with his older brother, Roy O. Disney, and rehired Kansas City Brothers Studios, which was later rebranded Walt Disney Productions. Oh, that's interesting. I got to do a retrospective on just Disney. You know what I mean? So let's go through that again. He teamed up with his older brother, Roy, and rehired Kansas City Brothers Studio. So I guess that's where he was working, because that's the first time we're hearing that name or coming across that name in this information. And that was the studio he later rebranded Walt Disney Productions. So Walt Disney Productions was an acquisition and renamed. I didn't know that. Let's see. Okay. The series began in 1924 before being retired in 1927. Wow, predates Mickey. In 1933, Disney considered making a feature-length animated and live-action version of Alice starring Mary Pickford. Mary Pickford was going to be our live-action Alice. And you know what? Looking at a picture of Mary Pickford, she could be a live-action Alice, I think. Excuse me. Her full name is Gladys Marie Smith, known professionally as Mary Pickford. I wonder why she changed her name from Gladys Marie Smith to Mary Pickford. I bet there's an interesting story there. Anyhow, however, these plans were in 1933. Disney considered... Wait, what the hell was this reading? However, these plans were... Oh, this is dyslexia, because instead of going to the next line, I went straight to the beginning of this one. See? It's not easy being me. Woe is me. However, these plans were eventually scrapped in favor of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which, let's be real, that was the right move to make, okay? Because that holds up today. If you don't believe me, go and watch our Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs watch along, and you tell me that movie doesn't hold up. Okay, I'm going to start over here. So he wanted to make the live-action animated hybrid version of Alice starring Mary Pickford, but okay. However, these plans were scrapped eventually in favor of doing Snow White, mainly because Disney was put off by Paramount's 1933 live-action adaptation Alice in Wonderland. Oh, lots of people doing Alice in Wonderland. However, Disney not completely... Oh, wait, cool. Hold on. However, Disney did not completely abandon the idea of adapting Alice, and in 1936, he made the Mickey Mouse cartoon Through the Mirror. One of my favorites, and what do you know? It's a podcast I did. It's one of the shorts. It's a watch-along short, which the secret about those is it's a watch-along, and I do the retrospective all in the same episode because the information is so much smaller than the features. You know what I mean? So, hey, anyway, go dig that one up. Do the watch along for Mickey Mouse Through the Mirror, and yeah, it's kind of convenient that I already have that up there. In 1938, after the enormous success of Snow White, Disney brought the film rights of Alice in Wonderland Disney bought, not brought, he bought the film rights of Alice in Wonderland with Sir John Tennills, Sir John Tennills, Sir John Tennell, Tenniels. Okay, Alice in Wonderland. He bought the rights to the film with Sir John Tennell's illustrations and officially registered the title with the Motion Picture Association of America. Nice. So Disney was just like, this was his passion project, it seems. Like when it comes to animated films, like he had his eyes set on Alice long before even having his own production studio. That's pretty fascinating. Let's see. He then hired storyboard artist Al Perkins and actor David S. or director and art director. Man, this is not a good one. Dyslexia is hitting hard today. Let's see. He then hired storyboard artist Al Perkins and art director David S. Hall to develop the story and concept art for the film. A story reel was completed in 1939, but Disney was not pleased. He felt that Hall's drawings resembled Tenniel's. Oh, it's Tenniel's. Sir John Tenniel. Got it. Resembled Tenniel's drawings too closely. Let's start that one over because I got sidetracked. A story reel was completed in 1939, but Disney was not pleased. He felt Hall's drawings resembled Tenniel's drawings too closely, making them too difficult to animate, and that the overall tone of Perkins' script was too grotesque and dark. I want to read that script. Realizing the amount of work needed for Alice in Wonderland, and with the economic devastation of World War II and the production demands of Pinocchio, Fantasia, and Bambi, Disney shelved production on Alice in Wonderland shortly after the screening. Man. In the fall of 1945, shortly after the war ended, Disney revived Alice in Wonderland and hired British author Aldous Huxley to rewrite the script. Aldous, not to be confused with Albus. Aldous, interesting. Let's see. Aldous Huxley. Huxley devised a story in which Lewis Carroll and Alice Liddell, the inspiration for Alice, were misunderstood and persecuted following the book's publication. Okay. In Huxley's story, stage actress Ellen Terry was sympathetic to both Carroll and Liddell, and Queen Victoria served as the deus ex machina, validating Carroll due to her appreciation of the book. What? This is a made-up story by Huxley? Okay, hold on. Disney considered child actress Margaret O'Brien for the title role. However, he felt that Huxley's version was too literal an adaptation of Carroll's book. Okay. Background artist Mary Blair, we know that name, submitted some concept drawings for Alice in Wonderland. Blair's paintings moved away from Tenniel's detailed illustrations by taking a modernist stance, using bold and unreal colors. Walt liked Blair's designs, and the script was rewritten to focus on comedy, music, and the whimsical side of Carroll's books. Now, yeah, I don't know if it's just my brain, but I couldn't really wrap my head around a lot of that. So let's see. Aldous Huxley to rewrite the script. Okay, so Huxley devised a story in which Lewis Carroll and Alice Liddell were misunderstood and persecuted following the book's publication. In Huxley's story, stage actress, was too simple. So it makes it sound like Aldous Huxley made up a story of Lewis Carroll and Alice Liddell being misunderstood and persecuted following the book's publication. And in the same story, stage actress Ellen Terry was sympathetic to both Carroll and Liddell, and Queen Victoria served as the Deus Ex Machina, validating Carroll. I don't get that. So all that was fake, but that's not like a fairy tale. Like that sounds like a biopic. Maybe I'm just not understanding. Like somebody explain that to me more clearly, because I'm not getting it. Anyway, around this time, Disney considered making a live-action and animated version of Alice in Wonderland similar to his short Alice comedies that would star Ginger Rogers and would utilize the recently developed sodium vapor process. So many people apparently were considered for this role of Alice. It's like, man, every time it came back into Disney's brain, it's like, I'm going to use this person. I'm going to use that person. I'm going to use this girl. But whatever. That's the problem with live action. He's got to cast a real person, and that real person is going to be that character. You know? Like Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia. Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker. I don't know why I'm going Star Wars, but that's really it, because you can't see Luke Skywalker and it not be Mark Hamill. You know what I mean? You can't see Princess Leia and it not be Carrie Fisher. So you cast a live action Alice, you know, it's not Alice unless it's Ginger Rogers, right? Sounds sketchy. Sounds like you're cornering yourself into a situation. What? Anyhow, I took a sip of coffee. Let's see what that does. Maybe my brain needs more coffee. That could be it. Where did I leave off? Process. Okay. Lisa Davis, who later voiced Anita Radcliffe in 101 Dalmatians. Interesting. Lisa Davis. See you when we get to 101 Dalmatians. And Luana Patton was also considered for the role of Alice. Now, we remember the name Luana Patton from, I believe, Fun and Fancy Free. Right? Let's see. Luana Patton. She was in, let's see, Song of the South. So, yep, there it is. She appeared again with Bobby Driscoll in the Pecos Bill segment of Melody Time. That's where I remember her name. Fun and Fancy Free. Oh, and she was in Fun and Fancy Free. Melody Time and Fun and Fancy Free. Interesting. Cool. Okay. That was Luana Patton. Where did I gotta stop. Okay. So Luana Patton was also considered for Alice. You know what? I don't know if she would have made a good Alice, but, you know, I remembered her enough to recognize her name and remember what she was from for the most part. So I bet she would have been a good Alice. Just for that. Notoriety. Recognizability. However, Disney soon realized that he could not do justice to the book by making an all-animated Wait. I'm not reading any of this right. However, Disney soon realized that he could only do justice to the book by making an all-animated feature. And in 1946, work began on Alice in Wonderland, with the film tentatively scheduled for release in 1950. Animation crews on Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella effectively competed against each other to see which film would finish first. By early 1948, Cinderella had progressed further than Alice in Wonderland. Well, I do love Cinderella, and I think Cinderella is a undeniable masterpiece. Now, I feel like even with the Disneyfication of Alice in Wonderland, or no, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, there's so much more to just the visuals. You know, the animation in Cinderella was brilliant. But the visuals of Cinderella were very real world commonplace things made whimsical. Now, Alice in Wonderland, there's going to be more time making you have to make whimsical ideas look attractive on the page. You know, like you don't have a reference point really. I mean, I guess you do. The White Rabbit, you have the White Rabbit, and I guess there are those Leal sketches and stuff. You know, there is artwork available that you could play with and pull inspiration from, but I'm not surprised, I guess is what I'm getting at, that Cinderella finished or was further along than Alice in Wonderland. You know? I don't know. Let's see. A legal dispute with Dallas Bowers' 1949 film version was also underway. Film version of what? Alice in Wonderland? Disney sued to prevent Disney sued to prevent release of the British version in the U.S., and the case was extensively covered in Time magazine. Interesting. I wonder if you can go through the Time archives and find that legal battle between Disney and Dallas Bowers. The company that released the British version accused Disney of trying to exploit their film by releasing its version at virtually the same time. Man, get over it. Like, so what? Or two different countries. Was the British version really going to... Oh, you know what? I was just going to say, was the British version really going to make it over here to the States back then? I mean, maybe, but, you know, Disney did debut Alice in Wonderland in England. So I wonder if that was like a salting the wound kind of thing, or like a spitting in the face of Dallas Bowers. Wow. I like it. I like how cutthroat you are, Disney. All right, let's talk about some of the writing. Through various drafts of the script, many sequences that were present in Carol's book drifted in and out of the story. However, Disney insisted that the scenes themselves keep close to those in the novel, since most of its humor is in the writing. One omitted scene from the 1939 treatment of the film occurred outside the Duchess's manor, where the fish footman is giving a message to the frog footman to take to the Duchess, saying that she is invited to play croquet with the Queen of Hearts. I mean, that would have been pretty fun to see. So, footman, fish footman, frog footman. Is the White Rabbit a footman? Is that what it is? Is that what he is? Is he a footman? Because we're talking about these other animal footmen that are delivering messages and such and working for royalty. Is the White Rabbit a footman? Is the Queen of Hearts footman? I'm willing to say yes. There's no reason for me to be so certain of that, but it's one of those things that I'm going to make up while I take a sip of coffee. I'm drinking cold brew, so hopefully, I guess it's still kind of making my vocal cords a little icky. Whatever, man. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, anyhow, let's see. to play croquet with the Queen of Hearts. Got it. Alice overhears this and sneaks into the kitchen of the manor, where she finds the Duchess's cook manically cooking and the Duchess nursing her baby. What? The cook is spraying pepper all over the room, causing the Duchess and Alice to sneeze and the baby to cry. I don't like this. After a quick conversation between Alice and the Duchess, the hot-tempered cook starts throwing pots and pans at the noisy baby. I'm understanding why this was omitted from the movie. After a quick okay, we got that. The cook starts throwing pots and pans at the baby. After a quick conversation between Alice and the Duchess, I just read that 7 times. What is happening? Okay, there it is. Dyslexia, I'm telling you. So after the cook is throwing pots and pans at the baby, Alice rescues the baby, but as she leaves the house, the baby turns into a pig and runs away. The scene was scrapped for pacing reasons. Pacing reasons. Not because a psychotic chef attacked a baby that morphed into a pig. I guess that's not super outlandish. I mean, we did see Alice grow into a giant, and a chimney sweep lizard was rocketed into space because she sneezed. Yeah, weird. All right, so if it wasn't, due to pacing conflicts, we could have had that scene in the movie, I guess. Another scene that was deleted from a later draft occurred in what is this? Tulgeywood? Tulgeywood? Tulgey? How do you say that? Tulgeywood. Tulgeywood. I'm going to say Tulgeywood. Okay. Another scene that was deleted from a later draft occurred in Tulgeywood, where Alice encountered what appeared to be a sinister-looking Jabberwock hiding in the dark before revealing himself as a comical-looking dragon-like beast with bells and factory whistles on his head. All right. A song, Beware the Jabberwock, was also written. However, the scene was scrapped in favor of the Walrus and the Carpenter poem. Interesting. So we didn't get the Jabberwock. Instead, we got the Walrus and the Carpenter, which I like that. The Walrus and the Carpenter. Yeah, I like that better, I think. The Walrus and the Carpenter. Okay. Out of a desire to keep the Jabberwocky poem in the film, it was made to replace an original song for the Cheshire Cat, I'm Odd. Huh. Another deleted scene in Tulgeywood. We decided that was Tulgey, right? The Tulgey. Tulgey. I don't remember what we landed on. Sorry. But anyway, another deleted scene in Tulgeywood shows Alice consulting with her White Knight. Who was the White Knight? I remember a white rabbit. Was the rabbit also a knight? Probably not. I'm making things up. Let's see. With the White Knight. I'm sorry. Actually, I can hover over that and see. Let's see. The White Knight is a fictional character in Lewis Carroll's 1871 book, Through the Looking Glass. Oh, he represents the chess piece of the same name, as imagined in John Tennell's illustrations for the It's Alice. Stories he had echoes of John. Okay, this is just going on. So the White Knight was another character in Wonderland, which I suppose makes sense. We didn't really need to look at the description to understand that, I guess. But the fact that he was a chess piece, that's pretty fun. Chess pieces and cards. What a classy place this Wonderland is. Okay, so I didn't finish that sentence. let's go back to that. All right, another deleted scene in Tulgey Wood shows Alice consulting with the White Knight, who was meant to be somewhat a caricature of Walt Disney. Oh, fun. So that would have been like a little Walt Disney Easter egg cameo kind of thing. I wonder that since the White Knight was intended to be a caricature of Walt Disney, if he would have voiced him. If he would have voiced him. Disney had I like his voice, when he's anytime, I was going to say anytime he gave a speech like at a park, but those old mics and amplifiers really kind of did a number to the voice of whoever was speaking. But in like the Disneyland show or Wide World of Disney or Wide World of Disney, I think that's something way different. I was looking for Colorful World of Disney, but maybe the other one makes sense too. Anyway, Disney had a very pleasantly sounding voice. However, and he has experience voicing animated characters. Granted, that animated character was Mickey Mouse, so maybe the White Knight was, "Oh, Alice, welcome to Wonderland." Could you imagine that? That was a really bad Mickey Mouse, by the way. Took a lot of nerve for me to try that out, so respect me. Don't mock me. I mean, you can mock me, just don't let me hear it. You know what I mean? I'm sensitive in that way. Anyway, so Mickey Mouse White Knight. Let's see. Although Disney liked the scene, he felt it was better if Alice learned her lesson by herself. Hence the song, Very Good Advice. That's right, man. Alice is a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need to be saved by a White Knight. Look at Disney ahead of the game. See that? Way to go, buddy. That's why I like you so much. Other characters, such as the Mock Turtle and the Griffin, were discarded for pacing reasons. A lot of things being scrapped and discarded for pacing reasons. But, okay. We could have seen the Mock Turtle and the Griffin. We could have seen both. They could have had cameos. I'm assuming the pacing reasons implies that the pace of the story itself would have started to feel like it was dragging. Or it could have been a financial thing, because that's a lot more animation being done. So, and then, yeah, timing of the overall film. Okay, maybe that's how we're supposed to read into pacing reasons. That makes more sense to me. I really like that Very Good Advice song, even though it's so sad. It's really sad. Remember all the Wonderland creatures start listening in and start crying. Even if they don't have eyes, they still find a way to cry. That's just some of the best music. Let's talk about music now. Let's see. In an effort to retain some of Carol's imaginative poems, Disney commissioned top songwriters to compose songs built around them for use in the film. Over 30 over 30 potential songs were written, and many of them were included in the film. Let's see, some for only a few seconds. Oh. The greatest number of songs in any Disney film. That is fascinating. So instead of completely scrapping let's think, they said over 30 potential songs, so let's just put it at 30, okay? Because, 30 alone is a crazy amount of songs. We got all right, the movie opens. Alice, that first song she sings, why am I blanking on how that goes? Is that how it, no, that turned into something else. That turned into, I don't know what that turned into. But you know what I'm talking about. So that's one. And then the dodo being pushed on the upside down bird. He's singing the oh, the sailor. He's singing that one. And then when they're drying off, that's a 3. From there we will meet Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They got a song. I think they got a couple songs, honestly. Okay. Well, now if I'm counting, I should have just counted the major songs. But anyway, long little drag out segment cut, less long, is that it's cool that they used at least portions of a lot of those songs. And it makes me realize, when Painting the Roses Red, I guess that was a pretty long song. I don't know. I'd really like to hear the songs that were not necessarily used. And I would like, how much of the Caterpillar song did we get? Right? I feel like he didn't do a full song. I feel like Alice walks up on him while he's singing. And then they do that little, rap battle. The Alice and Caterpillar rap battle. How doth the little crocodile? Doth? Did he say doth? That's how I'm remembering it. I really wonder if I should do the retrospectives and then watch the movie. Because then we can point out all the fun little to-dos. Maybe I'll do that. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. I don't know. Maybe there's rewatch-alongs where we go back and rewatch it, pointing out all the things we learned in the retrospective. Now, is that getting a little crazy? Maybe. Let's see. The greatest number in any Disney film. K. So Alice in Wonderland has the most songs out of any Disney film. Go Alice. In 1939, Frank Churchill was assigned to compose songs, and they were accompanied by a story reel featuring artwork from Dave S. Hall. Interesting. I apologize for the way I read that sentence with the odd inflections in weird points. That was my way of staying on track and not losing my place, because I felt my eyes going. Where were they going? I don't know. But they were not going down the path of that sentence that I needed them to. So I hope that made sense. Frank Churchill was assigned to compose some songs. There we go. Although none of his songs were used in the finished film, the melody for Lobster Quarterly? Quadrille. Quarterly? I don't know how to say that word, but I spelled it for you. It's about lobsters. There you go. That song was used for the song Never Smile at a Crocodile in Peter Pan. Oh, interesting. So the melody for that song was purposed for Never Smile at a Crocodile in Peter Pan, which happens to be the next film in line. When work on Alice resumed in 1946, Tin Pan Alley songwriter Mac David, I apologize, Mac, I did not mean to call you Mark. Mac David, Al Hoffman, and Jerry Livingston began composing songs for it after working on Cinderella. However, the only song by the trio that made it into the film was the Unbirthday song. Well, even though a lot of your songs didn't make it in, Mac, Al, and Jerry, the Unbirthday song is, I mean, that's a tried and true Disney classic right there, right? I sure think so. I sure like that song. While he was composing songs in New York, Sam Fain had heard that Disney Studios wanted him to compose songs for Alice in Wonderland. Here's another character, Sammy Fain. He also suggested lyricist Bob Hillard as a collaborator. Well, that's really nice to get your friend some work. The two wrote 2 unused songs for the film, Beyond the Laughing Sky and I'm Odd. The music for the former song was kept, but lyrics were changed, and it later became the title song for Peter Pan. Wow. The second star to the right. Huh. By April 1950, Fain and Hillard had finished composing songs for the film. That is very, very interesting. So there are 2 songs intended for Alice in Wonderland that were repurposed into songs for Peter Pan. You know, I never, like growing up, I never really thought about how closely Peter Pan and Alice, like how similar they are in tone and visuals and animation, and I mean, like, down to Wendy's voice. The voice of Wendy is both Alice and Wendy. Crazy. So those two classics are deeply intertwined. The song composed by Sammy Fain has become a jazz standard. What? Adapted by jazz pianist Dave Brubeck in 1952 and included on his 1957 Columbia album Dave Digs Disney. Interesting. The song In a World of My Own is included on the orange disc of Classic Disney 60 Years of Musical Madness. Okay. Kind of fell off at the end of that sentence because my brain started going and I had that CD. I had a burned copy of that CD. No, but I had a copy of that, the orange disc of that series. And I'm trying to think. In a World of My Own, I feel like I do recall that being on there. I mean, I believe it's on there. Why else would they put it in here? Interesting. Fascinating, man. See, that's a little chunk right there that's why we do retrospectives. We learn so many neat little tidbits about these films. Speaking of albums and soundtracks, I suppose, there was no soundtrack album available when the film was released in 1951. RCA Victor released a story album and single records with Catherine Beaumont. Beaumont? I don't know. We had issue with that earlier. Beaumont? I think it's Beaumont. I'm going to go with Beaumont. That sounds Frenchy. Okay, so with Catherine Beaumont and several cast members that recreated the story, but it was not the soundtrack. Got it? Got it? What Catherine Beaumont and several cast members did in recreating the story on vinyl was not the soundtrack. I just want to make sure everyone gets that, okay? In 1944, Decca Records I was just making sure that did say Decca. 1944, Decca Records had released a Ginger Rogers dramatization of Lewis Carroll's book with Disney cover art, perhaps trying in with earlier discussions of her being cast as a live-action Disney Alice. Decca did not... hold on. Decca did indeed license the rights to release the 1951 Alice soundtrack from Disney, but later decided against it and never produced one. Sorry, I was turning up my monitor brightness during that pause. When Disney started his own record company, Disneyland Records, everything was Disneyland. The Disneyland TV show, Disneyland Records. Interesting. Okay, so when he made his own record company, Disneyland Records, in spring 1956, it was found to be economically unfeasible at the time to take on the fees and other costs to produce a soundtrack album. So economically, it was a bad idea to put out a soundtrack for Alice in Wonderland. I guess. I don't know. Because, I mean, there are good songs in there. Are they When You Wish Upon a Star good? I don't know. You know? Are they Hi Ho good? I don't know. But that Mad Tea Party song, the Unbirthday song, that one's good. Painting the Roses Red, I'd listen to a full version of that. There are good songs in Alice in Wonderland. And then, come on. Very Good Advice, like, even though that makes me cry every time, it's still a good song. 1957. In 1957, Tootie Camerata? Camarata. Tootie Camerata. Full name, Salvador, in quotes, Tootie Camerata, was an American composer, arranger, trumpeter. Boy. Anyway. So, let's see. In 1957, Tootie Camerata arranged and conducted an elaborate original production of the Alice score with Darlene Gillespie, who had shown great promise among the Mickey Mouse Club cast as a singer. Wow, dipping into the Mickey Mouse Club. Very cool. Camerata assembled a new orchestra and chorus, possibly with the cooperation of Norman Luboff. Norman Luboff, Luboff, was an American music arranger, music publisher, and choir director. Well, good on you, Norman. So let's see. All right. Camerata assembled a new orchestra and chorus, possibly with the cooperation of Norman LeBoff, as Betty Mulliner, LeBoff. What is going on here? Yeah, this link is red, and it says Betty Mulliner, Mulliner, does not exist. The link does not exist. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's happening here. But anyway, so let's see. Possibly with the cooperation of Norman LeBoff, Betty Mulliner, who doesn't exist, and choir member Thurl Ravenscroft, can be heard. Cool, I guess. In the Capitol Studios in Hollywood, California. I don't know what any of that. My brain just did not absorb that for whatever reason. The resulting album became one of the most influential and acclaimed studio versions of a score. Wow. Garnering praise from within the industry as well as the public. The original issue depicting Alice seated in a tree with characters beneath her is highly collectible. Oh, okay. So let's see. The original issue, in parentheses, WDL-4025, okay? That's the original issue of this soundtrack. It depicts, I guess the cover depicts Alice seated in a tree with characters beneath her. It's highly collectible, but the album was so popular, it was reissued in 1959, 1963, and 1968 with different covers. So if you got that OG cover with Alice in the Tree, you're sitting on something special. Let's see. Different covers as well as story albums with books and single records, all featuring music from this album, as well in translated versions of the Camerata Alice music for international recording. So I guess they, produced the same soundtrack or score, what have you, in different languages, which is cool. Very neat. To date, the only soundtrack material ever made available on vinyl records was released outside the United States in the late 90s, over 45 years after the film's original release. A soundtrack album of Alice in Wonderland was finally released in the U.S. on audio CD by Walt Disney Records. Wow. So let's see. Sorry for clearing my throat in your ear. The original songs performed in the film include, here we are, Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland. Wow, I really regret doing that. In a World of My Own, that's the one she's singing when she's like looking in the water, hanging out with Dinah. I'm Late is considered a song. I'm late for a very important date. No time to I'm late. See, that's interesting. Is that a song? But I guess it is. Here we go. The Sailor's Hornpipe. I guess that's the the Caucus Race. That's the one where they're running around in circles. That's how that goes. How do you do and shake hands, shake hands, shake hands. How do you do and shake hands? Wow. Okay, The Walrus and the Carpenter, of course. Old Father, that's the one that Tweedledee and Tweedledum sing as Alice is walking away from them. Old Father William, right? That's the one. We'll smoke the badger out. We'll smoke the badger out. I forgot that. That's a good one too. Wow. I like it. We'll smoke it. Wait. Blighter, Badger. Wow. 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 There you go. There you go. That's embarrassing. That's the dyslexia. We'll smoke the blighter out. Badger. That's no Badger in the scene. Wow. All in a Golden Afternoon. Okay, the flowers, right? A-E-I-O-U, the Caterpillar song. A-E-I... Oh, wait, no, that's not right. A-E-I-O-U. What was I doing first? The Unbirthday song. Cool. Very good advice. Awesome. Painting the Roses Red. What a soundtrack that is. Hits. 15 hits. So, here's what I was really wondering about earlier. Songs written for the film but deleted during production include Beyond the Laughing Sky. Alice Alice would sing that, and it was replaced by In a World of My Own. This melody was later used for the second star to the right in Peter Pan. So Beyond the Laughing Sky, melody became the second star to the right. Wow. Dream Caravan was sung by the Caterpillar and replaced by A-E-I-O-U. Everything has unsenses or useness. What? Everything has a useness. Interesting. Also sung by the Caterpillar. I'm Odd, the Cheshire Cat, replaced by 'Twas Brillig. What? Man, I need to get my eyes checked out. I'm learning that now. 'Twas Brillig? 'Twas Brillig. Interesting. A lot of those, the I's and the L's all together is like making my brain melt looking at that. Anyway, So They Say was a song intended for Alice. When the Wind is in the East would have been sung by the Mad Hatter. Gavotte of the Cards, G-A-V-O-T-T-E. Gavo, is that a French word? Gavotte of the Cards, sung by Alice. Entrance of the Executioner would have been sung by the squeaky little King of Hearts. And the King, hooray! Beware the Jabberwock, referring to a deleted character, so nobody had that one. If You'll Believe in Me, the Lion and the Unicorn would have sang that, deleted characters. Beautiful Soup, the Mock Turtle and the Griffin, since they were deleted, that was also completely scrapped. It was set to the tune of the Blue Danube, D-A-N-U-B-E, Danube. I don't know. What is that? The Blue Danube is a common English title of, oh my gosh, German words. No, thank you. We talked about the Lobster Quarterly. Will You Join the Dance, in parentheses, would have been sung by the Mock Turtle. Speak Roughly to Your Little Boy would have been sung by the Duchess. And Humpty Dumpty would have been sung by Humpty Dumpty. All scrap songs, all deleted characters. From Beware the Jabberwock to Humpty Dumpty. All those songs were scrapped for scrapped characters. Wow. The release of Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland premiered at the Leicester Square Theatre in London. Is that right? Leicester? Leicester Square Theatre in London on January 20, or not January. I'm sorry. It premiered at that Square Theatre in London on July 1951. During the film's initial theatrical run, the film was released as a double feature with the True Life Adventures documentary short, Nature's Half Acre. Interesting. I wonder if I could find that. That sounds like something fun to watch. A double feature. It's a documentary short. True Life Adventures is a series of 14 full-length and short subject documentaries films produced by Walt Disney Productions roughly between the years of 1948 and 1960. The series won 8 Academy Awards for the studio, including 3 Academy Awards for Best Documentary Feature. Oh, interesting. So they had a little short documentary paired with Alice in Wonderland on the premiere. Following the film's initial lukewarm reception, it was never re-released theatrically in Disney's lifetime, instead being shown occasionally on television. Alice in Wonderland aired as the second episode of the Walt Disney's Disneyland television series on ABC on November 3rd, 1954, in a severely edited version cut down to less than an hour. Wow. Bummer. It's a shame that Disney never really saw the, I don't know. I would say that Alice in Wonderland is a classic. It's become a great hit. But I guess he only ever knew it as kind of being received as a... it's a lukewarm reception. Beginning in 1971, the film was screened in several sold-out venues at college campuses, becoming the most rented film in some cities. Then, in 1974, Disney gave Alice in Wonderland its first theatrical re-release. The company even promoted it as a film in tune with the psychedelic times, using radio commercials featuring the song White Rabbit, performed by Jefferson Airplane. Oh, so they were saying, we're not telling you to do psychedelics and come see this movie, but if you were, it might be a good time. This release was so successful that it warranted a subsequent re-release in 1981. Its first UK re-release was July 26th, 1979. Wow. Premiere day to premiere day. Anniversary of its premiere. It's basically the more intelligent way to say that, I suppose. Marketing. Disney sought to use the new medium of television to help advertise Alice in Wonderland. In March 1950, he spoke to his brother Roy about launching a television program featuring the studio's animated shorts. Roy agreed, and later that summer, they spoke to the Coca-Cola Company about sponsoring an hour-long Christmas broadcast featuring Disney hosting several cartoons and a scene from the upcoming film. The program became 1 Hour in Wonderland, which was aired on NBC on Christmas Day, 1950. At the time, a 10-minute featurette about the making of the film Operation Wonderland was produced and screened in theaters, on television, and on television stations. Additionally, Disney, Catherine Beaumont, and Sterling Holloway appeared on The Fred Waring Show on March 18th, 1951, to promote the film. That's interesting. I wonder if the advent of television coming into homes is kind of what deterred people from going to the theater more. I mean, they were getting so much Disney content at home. Like, why spend money at the theater? I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel that way personally about Disney Plus. It's like, I don't have to run out and go see the next Marvel movie in theaters because I know it's going to hit Disney Plus shortly thereafter. You know, and with kids and stuff like that, it's just younger kids. Older kids, definitely the theater is a fun experience, but like, you know, I got a baby at home. Maverick's, he doesn't allow a lot of theater time. You know what I mean? Cool. All right. So now home media. We're into home media. Alice in Wonderland was one of the first titles available for the rental market on VHS and beta, and for retail sale on RCA's short-lived CED video disc format. The film was released on October 15th, 1981 on VHS, CED video disc, and Betamax, and again on May 28th, 1986 on VHS, Betamax, and Laserdisc. I'm betting you I had the 1986 VHS re-release edition at home. In January 2000, Walt Disney Home Video launched the Golden Classic Collection with Alice in Wonderland re-released on VHS and DVD on July 4th, 2000. The DVD contained the Operation Wonderland featurette, that's neat, several sing-along videos, a storybook, a trivia game, and its theatrical trailer. That's fun. A fully restored 2-disc Masterpiece Edition was released on January 27th, 2004, including the full hour-long episode of the Disney television show with Catherine Beaumont, Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, and Mortimer Snurd. Hey, old Morty Snurd coming back. Bobby Driscoll and others that promoted the film, computer games, deleted scenes, songs, and related materials, which was discontinued in January 2009. It sounds like that specific Masterpiece Edition is the one to get your hands on. That had a lot of content with it. Neat. Discontinued in 2009. Disney released a 2-disc special unanniversary edition DVD on March 30th, 2010, in order to promote the recent Tim Burton version. The film was released in Blu-ray and DVD. I'm sorry. Let me just start that over. See, I sound much different when I'm not getting all like, I don't know what the term is for what just happened in my voice. But the film was released in Blu-ray and DVD, or in a Blu-ray and DVD set on February 1st, 2011, to celebrate its 60th anniversary, featuring a new HD restoration of the movie and many bonus features. Disney re-released the film on Blu-ray and DVD on April 26th, 2016, to celebrate the film's 65th anniversary. The film was released on Disney Plus on November 12th, 2019. Box office. During its initial theatrical run, the film grossed $2.4 million in domestic rentals. Because of the film's production budget of $3 million, the studio wrote off $1 million loss. Yikes. During its theatrical re-release in 1974. The film grossed $3.5 million in domestic rentals. Man, that's heavy. I'm really thinking that home television played a pretty drastic effect, but let's see what a critical reaction was. So, Bosley Crowther, Crowther. I don't know. They were reviewing for the New York Times, and they complimented that if you are not too particular about the images of Carol and Tennille, if you are high on Disney whimsy, and if you will take a somewhat slow, uneven pace, you should find this picture entertaining. That's a compliment. Especially should it be for kids who are not so demanding of fidelity as are their moms and dads. What? A few of the episodes are dandy, such as the Mad Tea Party and the Caucus Race. The music is tuneful and the color is excellent. Okay. I mean, that's great. That's a good compliment for a animated film. Variety wrote that the film has an Eastern charm. Oh, sorry, not an Eastern charm, dude. My dyslexia is on another level today. Variety wrote that the film, quote, has an earnest charm and a chemical beauty that best shows off the Carol fantasy. However, it has not been able to add any real heart or warmth, ingredients missing from the two tomes, and which have always been an integral part of the previous Disney feature cartoons. So, sounds to me like Variety was like, you know, it's got its charm, it's got its beauty, but if you're a fan of Carol, these books, and you're, you know, the previous Disney, you know, tone of prior Disney films, this might not. There's a little something missing from it, so you're not going to get what you have gotten and expected from the source material and Disney's previous works. So that it's not a mean review, but at the same time, it's definitely not a shining review. May Tiny or Tinny, Tinn, no, Tinee, of the Chicago Tribune wrote that Walt Disney figures, while Walt, oh my goodness, I don't even want to read this anymore. I'm stumbling far too much, far too much. Let's try it again though, yeah. Never quit, never die. Cobra Kai never die. May Tiny, Tinee. I did it again. Okay, the name is May Tinee. Tiny, I don't know. Of the Chicago Tribune wrote that while the Disney figures do resemble John Tennille's famous sketches, they abound in energy but are utterly lacking in enchantment. Ouch. And seem more closely related to Pluto. What's wrong with that? The clumsy pup. Hey, Pluto, the clumsy pup, than the products of Carol's imagination. That seems harsh. Youngsters probably will find it a likable cartoon full of lively characters with Alice's dream bedecked with just a touch of nightmare. Wow. Bedecked with just a touch of nightmare. That's how I'm going to start describing myself. Those who cherish the old story as I have probably will be distinctly disappointed. Man, Time stated that, judged simply as the latest in a long popular line of Disney cartoons, Alice lacks a developed storyline which the studio's continuity experts, for all their freedom with scissors and paste, have been unable to put together out of the episodic books. And with me reading it the way I did, that made no sense. Okay, Alex, I'm falling apart. Alice lacks a developed storyline, which the studio's continuity experts, for all their freedom with scissors and paste, have been unable to put together out of the episodic books. Yeah, I think that's just a poorly worded statement, but the sentiment is that it's that classic book to screen problem where so much has been taken out to fit the time constraints of a feature that it seems like that's what's really disappointed people the most. And like the characters aren't like the Tennille abstract interpretations. They've been very Disneyized, which to me, I personally love. But then I wasn't an adult in the 1950s who grew up on the illustrations of Tennille. You know what I mean? I grew up on the imagery of Disney's Alice in Wonderland. So much of its familiar stuff, Carol's Garden of Live Flowers prompts Disney to revive the style of his silly symphonies. Yet there is plenty to delight youngsters, and there are flashes of cartooning ingenuity that should appeal to grown-ups. Well, that turned in its tide at the end. Like, it became complimentary. It really just seems like the criticism is, fans of the original source material. But it does seem like everyone's giving credit to Disney. They're like, it'll appeal to kids. This is a cartoon for the kids. It's not for the adults who grew up on the original content, which I get. And that actually, I get what the lukewarm response is, that they're talking like that's lukewarm. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not what I know. It's not what I love, but it's fine. It's lukewarm. Okay. I'm not going to keep going. There's a few more critiques on here, but I mean, it all says the same thing. This one here, let's see. Alice in Wonderland was met with great criticism from Carol fans, as well as from British film and literary critics, who accused Disney of Americanizing a great work of English literature. I'll cry about it. Disney was not surprised by the critical response to Alice in Wonderland. His version of Alice was intended for large family audiences, not literary critics. Exactly. But despite all the long years of thought and effort Disney invested in it, the film met with a lukewarm response at the box office and was a sharp disappointment in its initial release. Additionally, he remarked that the film failed because a lack of heart. In the Disney films, Leonard Maltin says that animator Ward Kimball felt the film failed because it suffered from too many directors. Here was a case of 5 directors, each trying to top the other guy and make his sequence the biggest and craziest in the show. This had a self-canceling effect on the final product, and that I get. I really, truly get that. Too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Right. Let's see. stage version, Alice in Wonderland has been considered or has been condensed into a one-act stage version entitled Alice in Wonderland Jr. The stage version is solely meant for middle and high school production and includes the majority of the film's songs and others including Song of the South's Zippity Doodah. That alarm never should have gone off, and I'm very disappointed that it did. You know when you try to, like your phone alarm goes off and you swipe it away, but it actually just snoozes the alarm and it surprises you at a really inopportune moment later on? That's what just happened. I think this episode of the podcast is going to get a lukewarm reception. So yeah, the Alice in Wonderland Jr. also includes Zippity Doodah. So that's cool. And two new reprises, I'm Late, and 3 new numbers entitled Ocean of Tears, Simon Says, and Who Are You? Cool. I mean, all right. I don't know if I'll ever come across this stage version for middle or high school kids unless one of my kids goes to a school that does it, but you know, what are you going to do? References in other Disney films. Oh, in Donald in Magic Land. Wow. Donald Duck wears Alice's dress and has her hairstyle, but brown, not blonde. A larger pencil bird is in the film as well. Cool. Bill the Lizard. Hi. Remember Bill, the chimney sweep lizard? Bill the Lizard appears as one of Professor Ratigan's henchmen in The Great Mouse Detective. Oh, that's cool. Bill makes a comeback in The Great Mouse Detective. That's awesome. So Alice sneezed and shot him out the chimney, and he landed in the Great Mouse Detective verse. That's really funny. I never noticed that before, but I kind of feel like I have, like, I don't know, subtle flashes of seeing him in that movie. That's one I'm looking forward to doing a retrospective of and a watch along for. I liked The Great Mouse Detective growing up. Alice and several other characters from the film were featured as guests in House of Mouse, and the Queen of Hearts was one of the villains featured in Mickey's House of Villains. The Mad Hatter was also featured in Mickey's Magical Christmas, snowed in at the House of Mouse. So that's one title. Mickey's Magical Christmas, snowed in at the House of Mouse. The Mad Hatter and the March Hare were also featured in several episodes of Bonkers. I liked that cartoon, Bonkers. Oh, here we go. Again, Bill the Lizard, Tweedledum, Cheshire Cat, and the Doorknob also appear in the 1988 Disney film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Specifically Tweedledum, not Tweedledee. Huh. Bill the Lizard's been in 3 movies. In the opening of Aladdin, the peddler tries to sell a hookah much like the one the caterpillar used. I never would have put those two together. In Aladdin and the King of Thieves, the genie turns into the White Rabbit. That's pretty funny. Weibo shows clips of the film on her screen in Flubber. An episode of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse entitled Mickey's Adventures in Wonderland is based on the film. During the song When You Wish Upon a Star in Disney's Pinocchio, the Alice in Wonderland book can be seen on the bookshelf where Jiminy Cricket is singing from. I didn't notice that either. This reference can be considered indirect as the film was released 11 years prior to Alice in Wonderland, but Disney was so clearly an Alice in Wonderland fan that why wouldn't he have made one of the books on the shelf Alice in Wonderland? That's just my 2 cents about that. Let's see. Spinoffs on October 25th, 2019. An undetermined animated project focused on the Cheshire Cat is being developed for Disney's subscription video on demand service Disney Plus. That's interesting. Cheshire Cat's going to get his own cartoon. On May 11th, 2021, it was announced a CGI animated TV series, Alice's Wonderland Bakery. Okay, let's try that again. On May 11th, 2021, it was announced a CGI animated TV series, Alice's Wonderland Bakery, will be released on Disney Junior in 2022. This series will center on Alice, the great-granddaughter of the original heroine. Okay. Live action remakes, we know about those. Theme parks. Okay. Costume versions of Alice, the Mad Hatter, the White Rabbit, the Queen of Hearts, Tweedledum, and Tweedledee make regular appearances at the Disney theme parks and resorts, and other characters from the film, including the Walrus and the March Hare, have featured in the theme parks, although quite rarely. Disneyland features a ride-through visit to Wonderland on board a caterpillar-shaped ride vehicle. This adventure is unique to Disneyland and has not been reproduced at Disney's other parks. More famously, all 5 Disneyland-styled theme parks have Mad Tea Party, a teacup ride based on Disney's adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. Awesome. I've been doing ride-along video, vloggantary ride-alongs of Disney rides and ride-through versions where I don't add commentary to it. That you can find wherever, leallegacy.com, Legacy TV. It's all there for you. Spoiler, I will be doing one for the Alice in Wonderland ride at Disneyland in the near future. So keep a lookout for that. Depending on when you listen to this. It's not going to be up just yet, but I am going to Disneyland in the near future and intend on capturing that ride for a vloggantary ride along, and in turn a retrospective of that ride specifically. I'm going to do retrospective podcasts for the rides that I've done the vloggantary and ride-throughs with. So anyway, neither here nor there, other than the fact that you'll be able to see what the ride is actually like if you happen to live somewhere not close to Disneyland. So that's fun, right? Right. Alice in Wonderland is also frequently featured in many parades and shows in the Disney theme parks, including the Main Street Electrical Parade, Spectromagic, Fantasmic, Dreamlights, the Move It, Shake It, Celebrate It, Street Party, and Walt Disney's Parade of Dreams. Disneyland contains a dark ride based on the film in addition to the teacups. Yeah, we talked about that. And Disneyland Paris also contains a hedge maze called Alice's Curious Labyrinth, which takes its inspiration from the film, like when at the end where she's running away from the cards and everyone. That's pretty cool. The now defunct Mickey Mouse Revue, shown at Walt Disney World and later at Tokyo Disneyland, contained characters and scenes from the film. Interesting. Video games. The Disney Villain's Revenge, or in Disney's Villain's Revenge, the Queen of Hearts is one of the villains who tries to turn the ending of her story to where she finally cuts off Alice's head. Mickey Mousecapade features various characters from the film. The Japanese version, in fact, is based very heavily on the film, with almost every reference in the game coming from the film. A video game version of the film was released on Game Boy Color by Nintendo of America on October 4th, 2000 in North America. Additionally, in the video games Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Wonderland is a playable world. Alice is also a major character in the overall plot of the first game due to her role as one of the 7 Princesses of Heart. Other characters from the movie that appear include the Queen of Hearts, the Cheshire Cat, the White Rabbit, the Doorknob, the Caterpillar, V-cast only for the Caterpillar, and the deck of cards. The Mad Hatter and the March Hare appear in portrait form as well. All except the Doorknob also appear in a Chain of Memories, all bet in the form of illusions made from main character's memory. Okay. While the world is absent in Kingdom Hearts 2, it returns in Kingdom Hearts 358/2 days and Kingdom Hearts Coded. There's a lot of Kingdom Hearts games that I'm just unaware of. The latter featuring a designated version of the world originating from data in Jiminy Cricket's Royal Journal. Fascinating. In Toy Story 3, the video game, the Mad Hatter's hat is one of the hats you can have the townsfolk wear in, Connect, Disneyland Adventures, Alice, Mad Hatter, White Rabbit, and the Queen of Hearts make appearances. In Disney Infinity, there are power discs based on Alice in Wonderland. Several characters of the movie make appearances throughout the Epic Mickey games. For example, the cards are seen throughout Mickey Junk Mountain and in the original Epic Mickey. In the original Epic Mickey, Alice appears as a statue carrying a projector screen in Epic Mickey 2, and Alice, the Mad Hatter, and the Cheshire Cat appear as unlockable characters in Epic Mickey Power of Illusion. There's a lot of Epic Mickey games. Woo! Okay. So that pretty much takes us to the end of that. Everything we didn't know we wanted to know about Alice in Wonderland. I want to formally apologize for just the amounts of dyslexic episodes that I had while reading through that information. But at the same time, if you don't know that about me by now, then but it could be your first episode that you're listening to. So I don't know. It's just something I deal with. So hopefully it was still entertaining. Hopefully it was still informative. And I do hope it was still a little funny. Even if you're mocking me for not being able to read very well, I mean, at least you're laughing, right? Just don't tell me that's why you're mocking me. But anyhow, LealLegacy.com. LealLegacy.com is becoming more and more important to these podcasts in the way of reference materials. Like I said, I'm going to Disneyland here in the near future, and I will be documenting the Alice in Wonderland ride there for a vlogumentary ride along, and then a new thing I'm doing called Rad Ride Throughs, where I take the footage from the ride along where I provide commentary through the ride. I take the footage and I don't do commentary. I just do the ride. Because I'm sure there are some people out there who don't want to hear my commentary but still would like to see the visuals. So I'm trying to accommodate everyone. That vlogumentary ride along will be accompanied with a maybe a short retrospective episode about that ride itself. So cool stuff, right? And then Peter Pan. Be on the lookout for Peter Pan. That's the next film in the Disney animated film legacy. So that's fun that so many references to Peter Pan happened here in the Alice in Wonderland retrospective. It's definitely going to add to the watch-along viewing of that, and then probably more stuff we'll find out in the retrospective for Peter Pan. So, yeah. As always, if you could be so kind, aside from checking out LealLegacy.com and shopping our store, our Skeleton Crew store, there are some Disney-themed pieces of apparel in there in our Diz Nerd, Because if you're a nerd about Disney, you're a Disnerd. And our Disnerd collection, best way to support Leal Legacy is to shop Skeleton Crew. Also by liking, commenting, subscribing, leaving a review, doing all those things on your podcast provider of choice. It really helps the discoverability of the podcast for other fans out in the world. So, do them a favor. Help them be able to find this. Or, you know what? If you got a Disney fan in your life, a comedy fan in your life, a person that just listens to a lot of podcasts or watches a lot of videos, I don't know, send them our way. The best way to promote is word of mouth. So if you know somebody, if you can think of anyone, regardless of age, I keep my potty mouth at bay. So good enough for kids too, right? Yeah. If you know a fan of any age that you think would be into this, pitch it to them. See what happens. Let's build our community here. I think that's about it. I want you to know I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed everything there is to know, or everything you didn't know you wanted to know about Walt Disney's Alice in Wonderland. Until next time, folks, take care. Later.